Welcome to Economic Vitality Unplugged, where we take a closer look at the people, programs, and partnerships shaping our community here in Tallahassee, Leon County. Today's conversation might surprise some folks because we're talking about libraries of all things. Not just the place that you go to borrow books, but as a place where careers get started, businesses take shape, and people gain real job-ready skills. I'm fortunate to have with me today our guest, Pamela Monroe. She's the Director of Library Services for Leon County. Pamela, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Keith, for having me. I'm really excited about being able to talk to you today.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to unpack. So, and again, I think our guests will be pleasantly surprised at all the wonderful things that you and your team are doing. So, Pamela, let's just jump right into it. Let's start at a high level. For someone who hasn't been to the Leon County Library recently, give us a snapshot of what library services look like today and what you're focused on as a system.
All right, great. Yes. When people think of libraries, most of the time they think of this antiquated place with all of the books, and that's where we house the books, affectionately known as a book warehouse. But that is not necessarily the case for the Leon County Public Library. So in 2019, library services and resources were reimagined, right? The idea was to create a space that is more community focused and community led. So what county did was they had staff get together and they conducted these community meetings and surveys to kind of help craft this idea to transform our library system to meet the changing needs of our residents. The Essential Libraries Initiative was born. A strategic plan that was adopted in 2021. To this day, we create an annual plan that is based on 4 focus areas: literacy and lifelong learning, arts and humanities, civic and community engagement, and what we're going to talk a little bit more about today is our business and workforce development. With that was our new mission statement: to be an essential resource and place for learning, engagement, and innovation that provides for our community's changing needs. Because let's face it, that's the thing. Our community is always changing, and we want to be a part of that because libraries are in so many spaces. Leon County alone has 7 libraries. A lot of times when people think of the library, they think of downtown, where we have a lot of programming going on, but we have libraries in Fort Braden, Woodville Community, Eastside, Northeast Branch Library, and the B.L. Perry Branch Library, as well as Lake Jackson. So with that, we are able to offer programs in all of those areas that are a little bit more community focused.
And like you said, when people think of library, they think of this quiet place, often picture the bookshelves as you described. And that perception sounds like has changed over the years since you started adopting your strategic plan in 2021. So one of the things that I find most fascinating is just the focus that the library is now placing on career advancement. Do you want to talk about that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. So it's funny because under our business and workforce development focus area, we are committed to helping people get jobs. Let's face it, at the end of the day, people need jobs, they need to work. But this really is not a new concept for libraries. One of the things that we've always done is when people come in and they ask us questions, we help. So I like to think about how many times we've had someone come in and, maybe they needed assistance with a resume. They don't know where to go, but libraries are trusted spaces. And so they'll come to us and our staff are always eager to help. One of the new things that we have in our system is our CAT excavator simulator. It's an idea that came about when that pioneer group went out and started looking at other libraries, other communities, what are some of the things and programs that they were doing. Well, under the surveys, they found that as you drive around town, you see a lot of construction going on. And these construction company owners They need skilled workers. That is a priority for any employer. I like to go even further than construction. I like to think about tree services.
Right.
Excavator is a tool that is needed for those.
Yeah, you're right. You drive around anywhere, you see someone working a front loader or skid steer or some type of excavation equipment in the construction and, like you said, professional services industries across
Mhm.
the board.
I have a friend who is in the construction industry, and we were sitting down talking, and we're librarians, right? This isn't our area of specialty. So we had to go out and ask people. And one of the gentlemen told me that, and this is a game changer for me, Keith, really. He said, knowing the difference between digging a trench 1 feet wide and 1 feet and 3 inches can cost a lot of money if it's not done correctly.
That's a
Right?
good point. Yeah.
I don't think that we think of that because that's not our area of specialty. But when you start thinking of the thousands of dollars or even how much people are having to pay because they don't have people that are skilled, or they're having to teach them these skills, or they're finding out after the fact that somebody doesn't know how to do something, it can be quite costly.
Right.
So we worked with the Public Works Department from Leon County and had conversations with other people in the industry. And we found that this CAT simulator was probably one of the best simulators that we could come up with for our area. And one of the reasons really was because the barriers of licensing have been removed.
So you don't have to have a license to operate a excavator now?
You do not, you can get certificates, but you don't have to have a license. I think that was really one of the biggest things that we wanted to be able to get people into jobs,
Right.
right? Sometimes going through licensing programs and stuff like that, as great as that is, because that's going to get you more money, that doesn't work out for everybody. So with our program, a person can come in and work through the 9 courses in our SIM Scholar program, and they can get a certificate of completion through CAT and be ready to work. The beautiful thing about this program is it's for anyone that's 18 or older, have a valid driver's license. And for us, all you need is a library card. Right? Your library card will get you access to our CAT simulator at no cost.
That's amazing. So you said it's 9 courses?
Yes, there are 9
Is it
courses.
self-paced or how do the logistics work out?
Okay, so what a person will do is they start off with contacting the library. We will take you through our 45-minute intro course to make sure that this is something that a person really wants. And then
Okay.
they sign up for the SIM Scholar courses. They are self-paced courses that anyone can go through. And at the very end of the program, they get a certificate. Now, you don't have to be in the library to go through all of these courses. These are online courses. The simulator is in the library,
I
but it's
see.
an option. So if you want to come to the library and sit in the simulator lab and work on the courses, that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to get on the simulator after, I think it's the second session, you actually get on the simulator. But what I really like about this is that simulator will emulate different times of day, different weather. It will throw out different little, like a person might be there that wasn't there before. So it simulates real life situations. And that was really valuable for us, especially living in Florida. It rains, you've got
Right.
the sun and all of those things.
So basically, the training aspect of it takes into all different circumstances, like you mentioned, the weather, safety, all the variables that will go into any normal training or hands-on learning experience out in the field, but you're doing it in the safety of the library, which is just
Absolutely.
mind-blowing to me.
Well, what's great about it too is we are open until 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and we're also open on Sundays and Saturdays. So that's another opportunity for a person to be able to come in when they get off work or before work. So they still have that opportunity to be able to operate that simulator, which was another thing that we thought was really cool about getting this. People have to work.
Yeah, and that totally flips the script what people expect when they walk into a library. I mean, no one would expect that you could get some training on a excavator and also get a certification that you can take to an employer. Say, hey, I'm trained on this vehicle and I know how to operate it. That makes you more marketable as a person. And you said it's at no cost to the users, at
All
no
you need is your
cost.
library card.
Just the library card. How much is the library card these days?
A library card is free.
It's free.
If you are a
Okay.
Leon County resident, library cards are free. However, we do have fee cards for people who may not live in Leon County that are $30 a year.
Okay.
So that is something to consider. If it is a person who lives in another county and they want to have access to this for $30 a year, you can still get access.
You can have access to it.
Library card is free for anyone living in Leon County, anyone who is a Leon County employee. That's Leon County government employee. I want to make that clear. Students can also get library card.
Amazing. Amazing. So simulator is a powerful example of how the library has, like you mentioned earlier, has transitioned to meet the ever-growing needs of the residents in Tallahassee, Leon County. Beyond the heavy equipment training, what other workforce-focused programs are residents using at our library?
Okay, so we just had a second floor renovation, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay.
But one of the things that we have now is a career corner. And so in that career corner, we worked really closely with Career Source as well as some of the other local career type folks in the industry. We worked with Domi and such to try to bring forth programming that focuses on career readiness or even careers as well. A perfect example is we have coming up in January 4 workshops: finding joy at work, goal setting for better worlds, mastering time management, and resume rescue. These are 4 of the workshops that we've got going on just next month in January that people can come to for free and get advice or get assistance and help. And that's one of the things that we really want to do is we want to help people who are at any stage of their job, making them happy at work. Because let's face it, most of us spend a lot of time at work.
Right.
And it needs to be a place and an environment that you have joy. So helping people kind of reset sometimes in work, and that's really why we were looking at January. January is the perfect time to reset.
Right.
And we can do that, then we want to help people through programming. We've done programs related to cover letters. We had an entrepreneurial workshop not too long ago, which was successful. We're going to probably do that again. We like to showcase different types of jobs as well. We also work with teams. We do team job related programming. So we're kind of all over the place. And in our career corner, they have this great notebook that's called Career Pathways. So let's say you have a person who's not quite sure where they are with looking for a job or a career. You can look in this notebook or even talk with some of our staff, and they will help you get there.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. And I just keep harping on this point. Is at no cost?
At no cost at all.
At all. So for our listeners, if you or you know someone out there that may need a resume reset, there are workshops and resources available at the Leon County Library System to assist in that. Or if you're an employer and you have employees that might need some upskilling or to take part of some type of training, this resource is available for anyone. So this is just an amazing resource. And a lot of people don't really understand the value that the Leon County Library System brings specifically for the workforce in our community. Sometimes people don't connect those dots. So thank you, Pam, for clearing that up for us. Another area where libraries play a huge role, and you mentioned small business and entrepreneurship. Can you walk us through some of the data that is available at the library for people who may be exploring starting a small business or may want to get into entrepreneurship?
So if you come and talk to, I'm going to give you a name. She's fantastic. Her name is Debbie McIntyre, and she is our Library Special Services Coordinator for Business and Workforce Development. We also have Morgan Sykes, who is our librarian. These two dynamic women specialize in our business and workforce development area. And one of the things that they do is they sit down, they talk about, and they look at programs that could be related to our business and workforce development focus area. Another thing that they're doing is constantly out in the community, looking at and talking to FAMU, small business. They've talked to Domi Station, some of these other areas, and Jim Moran,
Right.
trying to develop programming to assist people in this area. Because let's face it, there's a lot of programs and stuff that's going on out there, but they're in all these different pockets.
Right.
And so as the library, like I said, being a trusted place, being a place that people usually know and they can locate it, if we can assist with programming that's related to being a better entrepreneur or anything like that, that helps our entire community. And it's so interesting. My youngest son, David, he is a photographer and he's a DJ. He does all of these different things. And when we had our entrepreneurial fair the other month, I was like, oh, this would have been great for him because it connected the people that are in our community already doing this with the people who want to do this.
Right.
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 And a lot of times the folks who want to do this don't know where to go. So one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to be a connector for the people who want to start a business, but aren't quite sure how to get started.
How to get there. Well, so again, you're continuing to play that role of a resource provider, just like when people come in and they're working on a research paper. You're there for that research, but
Absolutely.
Now it's just is being implemented in a completely different way. So
I think that's a perfect way to describe it. Is it's like a research paper. I mean, we're librarians and we're libraries. Where do you go to get research? Where do you go to get good research?
right.
I'll say that. You go to the library, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that we're doing. We're still doing those things that we've always done. It's just now on a bigger, broader scale. And it's in a beautiful space.
Yeah. So speaking of space, and you touched on it just a little bit earlier, the library has gone through some recent renovations at the main library. I had an opportunity, and thank you so much for graciously inviting me to the open house or the ribbon cutting event that you had there. But can you share what's new and what space has been enhanced and how the community can really make the most of these updates?
This is my pride and joy. And I say that because, and I mentioned this at the ribbon cutting, the first day that I came to work for Leon County government, I walked into this architectural committee meeting. So I was able to assist with designing the second floor. And it is an amazing space. The light, the usage of the space is different. All of those things were things that we thought about when we were putting this together. So I like to tell everybody, same number of books. We did not remove any books. We just relocated some books and we took the shelving, which was this 8-foot shelving, down to about 6 feet. That, of course, allowed a lot more light to come in.
It opened the space up. Oh, I mean, it was.
And think about, not only did it open up the space, but it allowed us to add 13 additional rooms for people to book. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So we have 8 small group or individual study rooms. I have an academic background. I came from FAMU. And one of the things that I know students love is to have a study room. They will work in the library independently at tables. But when you've got a group of students who need to talk and have conversations, or they need a place to hunker down in for about a couple of hours to study, that's not always on the floor. So with this new design, we actually have 6 study rooms that are anywhere from 1 to 4 people, and they are glassed in. So you've got enough privacy where you're in a study room, but also we can see what's going on. We have huddle rooms, and we've named them affectionately because the huddle rooms are 6-person rooms, and there's a table with more office style chairs where people can sit in and get some other work done. So it's a larger group. We have what we call the gathering rooms, 2 small gathering rooms, which have comfortable seating, and both of our gathering rooms serve up to 4 people. And then we have a large gathering room, which is one of my favorite rooms. I call it the book club room, but it's got soft seating, a couple of sofas in there, and some more comfortable chairs. Now, what we really added was these 3 meeting spaces. These are meeting rooms. And each of our meeting rooms has a 98-inch monitor or TV in them with computer hookups. So one of them is like a classroom.
Okay.
And there, I think it's got a 20-person capacity. We have another that we call the little board room, which has an 18-person capacity. And then there's meeting room A, which is the larger room, which has a 24-person capacity. But that one also has a webcam in it. So let's say that you had a larger meeting, but you also needed to do it virtually. It gives you a hybrid option.
That's amazing. So you've got all these meeting spaces, and it sounds like it's not just for studying, which is important. When we go back and start talking about the entrepreneurial aspects of it, I mean, if you've got an entrepreneur who may not have a conference room or is trying to pull people together and they need some privacy, they can avail themselves of these spaces as well. You've got audio visual equipment. So if someone wants to do a presentation, maybe a pitch to some partners or investors, they could utilize that space. It seems like it's such a brilliant idea to have those options available for any type of meeting or gathering where you're sharing ideas or collaborating. So I think that is spot on in terms of how entrepreneurs, especially the younger generation, how they like to work and interact and collide.
You hit the nail dead on the head. When we were designing these spaces, those are the people that we had in mind. We were thinking about, if I need to have a business meeting, but I don't have a large business. There's only 10 people in my entire business, or 3. Sometimes you need to have a meeting where you don't want to pay for a meeting space. Because remember, all you need is your library card to book a room.
Yeah.
And then I left out one of the most important spaces, which is our sound booth. It's a podcasting room.
Right. It's soundproof. When you were going to show it to me, it was already booked. There were people using this room, but from what I could tell, it had like some sound dampening measures that were in place, interactive soundboard with microphones, professional microphones. So kind of unpack that for us.
Okay, so once again, not the experts. So we talked to some experts, and we wanted to design a space where people could record sound without having all of that background sound. So we spoke with our IT office, and we also spoke with some folks over at FSU to make sure that we were giving the people what they needed, right? Doesn't make any sense for us to design these spaces if it's not what people are going to use. So we do have 4 Rode microphones in there. We also have Audacity on the computer that is in there. And it is truly a soundproof room. And there's also a screen that can come down. So if a person decides that they want to do video, we don't have the video equipment in there yet. But if a person does, so no one can see what you're doing on the inside, it's nice and dark. We got a compliment from Tom Flanagan with WFSU. He said, "This is some great equipment." So, when you hear that,
I know.
That made my heart just sing, because that meant that we went into this with the right idea. And, it's not just for podcasts, right? Maybe somebody wants to record their oral history.
Right.
Maybe you have someone who is trying to record for their business, and they don't need all the background noise and all of that. You don't want to just do it on your phone. The beautiful thing about this is you don't have to know how to use the equipment. We have a 15-minute demo that you do before booking the room, but we also have in the room a little booklet that shows how to use all of the equipment.
Excellent.
And that's one of the things that we like to do as libraries. We don't want to overcomplicate things, because everybody is using it, right? We want it to be simple enough that anyone can use it, but be sophisticated enough that you're getting quality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground, Pamela. Thank you so much for your patience and helping us walk through all these wonderful things that you and your team are doing on a daily basis at the Leon County Library System. So looking ahead, what excites you most about what's next for the Leon County Library Services? What gets you excited about your job?
Oh boy, I absolutely love this system. I think what I love the most is we are so community focused. People give us ideas, we listen to them, we research them, and we see how can we make that happen. One of the things that, as I was talking with my group, that we would love to do is, partnerships. We'd like to collaborate more with local businesses. Having the library be like a third place is really one of our goals. The growth of our career corner, but also our business and workforce development focus area in general. Experts as partners. We have someone who is an expert in an area. We are always looking for these experts as partners because our staff, they do a great job of finding experts. But if you are an expert in an area, come and see us and say, hey, how can we possibly do a program together? Because we know that new jobs are always being created, and we know that we also don't know everything. And we'd love to find ways to showcase these things to the public through our programs. So the best thing that people can do is if we call, answer us so that we can create a program related to it. And of course, one of the things that I want to always do is increase our visits, right? Come into our space and look at it. And it's not just for the business world or the entrepreneurial. Our library here is for everyone. And I think that's the thing that I'm always telling people is that the beautiful thing about public libraries and Leon County Public Library is we are a library for every single person in our community, regardless of who they are, where they've come from. And so when you keep that in mind, when you're thinking about libraries, it's like, man, that's huge.
That is.
Because our community is so diverse, we want to make sure that everyone sees themselves in our library system.
That's amazing. I love that. I love it. For our listeners who are thinking, I didn't realize the library did all this, what's the first step that you take to encourage? I know you're looking for partners, you're looking for visitors, but is there a website where people can go to find out more information about all the services, the location, the operating hours, all those good things?
Absolutely. And it's very easy. It is leoncountylibrary.org.
leoncountylibrary.org.
Yes.
Well, excellent. Pamela, is there anything else you want to share with us? I know I've picked your brain pretty thoroughly here, I feel like.
So many things. I've got lots of things going on at the library, but I think I want to stay focused here with come in, see what we're doing, and we'd love to continue to get visitors. We are fortunate enough to be a system that has nearly half of our Leon County residents are library card holders.
That's amazing.
It's 46%.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
I'd love for that to be 51 at least.
Okay, we'll work on that.
There's our challenge, right? but it is amazing because we have so many things that we have to offer. So come on in.
Well, you heard it. You got a personal invitation from Miss Pamela Monroe, who is the Director of Library Services for Leon County. So Pamela, thank you not just for being on the podcast, but for the work that you and your team are doing every day to expand opportunities in our community. And to our listeners, whether you're looking to learn a new skill, explore a career path, start a business, or simply see what's new at the main library, I encourage you to check out Leon County Library Services. As we sign off, this has been Economic Vitality Unplugged. I'm Keith Bowers, and thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.